Okay, this is another episode of Double Dunn's Garage, and we are reassessing the blower motor situation. This video was directed towards DIAMORADIAMOND, D-I-M-O-R-A diamond. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I don't know. Anyway, he is saying that his vehicle does not have an access port to the blower motor, and I'm just sort of, he wanted detailed instructions, or she did, I'm not sure, of how to access it, where to access it, and what it looks like and stuff like that, and if you have to cut it out or take all the bolts out, you know, stuff like that. So I'm just kind of showing where my access port is for it, and going from there. These are very, as you can see, they're very color, so you might not notice unless you physically feel up here too. So maybe he's already done that, I don't know, or she has, the person has, we'll put it that way. But, you know, I was like, okay, how the hell do you access this? And I literally had to feel, because it was, when it's up there, it's nice and tight, and it's kind of just blends really good over the years. So that's how it is. Anyway, my access panel goes right along this edge, right up against this bolt. So it's probably pretty good measurement on all the years through the vehicles, and it's about what, half an inch away, and then it goes all the way along here and goes back over to the side here, up and back around and come back down again. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts in it. Or, yeah, bolts. Maybe screw bolts, who knows. So, we're going to stick you guys over here. Hopefully accessible lighting and or some type of access of some sort. And watch me take this out until I already took most of the bolts out. I think I only had like one of these stripped on me last time, so, but it just came right out. I mean, it didn't mean it didn't tighten up. So, you know, in all, it's surprisingly held there very well. Over years. When I got in behind this last time, it wasn't bad. It wasn't too dirty. You know, there was a little bit of this and that and yuck and goop, but nothing like, oh my god. I can tell right now it's pretty clean back there. So let me get this last bolt off. I'm gonna drop it. Maybe in a minute. There we go. So here's what they look like, kind of like a, you know, just a normal thing. Here's a panel, and when you put that up there, it's basically, you know, completely blind. So here's what the panel looks like. Right there. There is what the blower motor looks like, and in some sort of fashion where it's going to be just super challenging to, where it's not, maybe it's binding up, is what I'm saying. And from last time, you can tell I had to modify my wiring harness, which is okay, to accommodate the factory harness, so I wouldn't have to cut the wires, which is fine. And it looks like it's together right. Everything looks good here. And there's one ground, one positive. Pretty simple situation. Looks like I gotta make that go in there. And that means that has to go over here on this side, is what I'm thinking. The blower emitter, because I can run my finger inside the blower emitter. Feels like it's free, but it seems like it feels like it's free. It doesn't feel like it's binding. I have to turn it though. I have to clock this just right so this guy is lined up over here. So I got to go another quarter of a turn with the whole deal and make sure the holes line up, the bolts line up. Pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. I'm just going to say it's a pain in the ass one more time. Alright, so I'm going to get these bolts undone. I'm going to be back with you here. Okay. Okay. Well, I got the bolts out. I used an aftermarket bolt. These didn't come in the kit, so I just reuse them. Basically, that's not a car driving by. Same thing as that, except longer. There's a connection. Simple 2-wire connection. A little clip. You have to put your screwdriver underneath that, and it only goes in one way, like that. And then you. Oh, that's interesting. Shows one way on one. Doesn't show. Oh, I feel like at the end of the. There it is. That side. So yeah, it goes in one way. And then you just take it out. And taking it out is funner than it actually looks. You gotta have it just right, clocked just right to get out of the spot. Because I remember that from last time. Definitely not easy. I'm gonna put the camera down. Let's put it over here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's hard. You know, yeah, no problem. I can get this done. But, crap. Sorry, guys. Okay, it looks like I can get this done, but in reality, it is super difficult to get it completely out. Oh my gosh, this is so challenging. So this is what it looks like. You have your, what they call the squirrel cage. Remember I did this video many months ago. You have what looks like 2 sets of holes on each one. That's clocked in a certain fashion. When you look inside here, I can see that my clock goes right here because there's a seal right there. That's in a certain way. I'm just going to modify it so, again, this guy right here specifically goes right to it. I just got to modify it to make it right. Oh, this is the inside of it, what it looks like in here. That's spider. No. Okay. Who knows? That's what the inside of that looks like. Doesn't look too bad in there. It looks pretty clean. So let me power this up. get a battery on it, and I can check the fan to make sure that it blows any type of real wind, okay? Well, I found my problem, maybe, in my haste. The hell was that? I don't know. In my haste, I might have put these wires backwards, because I just flipped them around with probes and it blows a lot better. So I'm going to bolt this back correctly. Forget about this. I'm not going to even mess with it for right now. And follow up later, extend it, whatever. And so I can get all the bolts in and get it lined up and tight. And I'm going to turn around and cut this harness and find out where I screwed up. Found my problem. Well, I'm happy about that, but goes to show, guys, maybe there's a mix-up. I don't see how I would have made that mistake, but you know, it's possible. So I'm going to get back with you in a second here. I'm going to find out if I really did make a mistake. And I'll show you if I made a mistake too. So just a second. Well, I didn't make a mistake. Orange to orange. Black to black. No, I didn't quickly fix this or anything like that. That is the way it is. So I'm going to reverse the polarity because it works the other way. Yeah, it works the other way. Interesting. Very, very interesting. That only plugs in one way. Yeah. And that is not backwards. And that only plugs in one way. And that goes up against that, so we've already seen that that's plugged in correctly. Plugs in only one way here. Interesting. Anyway, it blows a heck of a lot better the other way. Yeah, that's right. Huh. Alright, I'll reverse the polarity on these and get it so it bolts completely in there and flush and call it good. For DIAMORADIAMOND, I really hope this video shows you anything whatsoever about it. You know, I just hope it helps you. Remember, there's 4 screws. You got to line these up. It's really important. This guy probably is not going to hook up correctly when you line up the screws. And see how mine is off already when it's doing this. I only have 2 of the screws in, thinking that this had to be hooked up. But now I am just thinking that I have polarity wrong, and it might be a factory mistake. Maybe the wires are crossed. But anyway, it blows better backwards. So I'm going to leave it backwards. You know, bolt it in right, get it fleshly mounted, because it's a little, you know, and I'm just going to make it blow backwards. This, I'll come back to later. One more time, I'll come back to that later. I'm not done with that. I'll buy a piece of tubing. I work at O'Reilly's. Maybe I'll come up with something tomorrow or Thursday. I'll just leave this off and maybe I'll come up with something and see if I can just make that work. I remember it was sitting over here. The hole was, so it's not too far off. Maybe if I go like, if this hose needs to go like here, maybe I can back the hose down or go up and around. It looks like a pain in the ass, but the thing is we can't have that kink in there. So maybe I'll just have something go do and do, or just have a piece of rubber hose all around and in, okay? or maybe some bendable. I'll look. You know, I'll see what I got. But it works better reverse polarity. So remember that. If you don't have a lot of good fan pressure, check the polarity. Go, run it backwards. With a pair of, I just used a pair of alligator clips. And just run it backwards. And come to find out that is actually my problem. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these and just run it orange to black, black to orange. Then it'll probably work great. So, okay guys, to finish up this project, I just tucked the wire up in there. There's tons of space. And what I did is I cut the original hose that just went from here to right there and stopped. I used a couple elbows that I had from old cars hanging out, a hose from an old car, and I used the other end of the nipple that was right there, and I just created like a curved line from there. This is hard surface, this is rubber surface, more rubber surface, hard surface, a right angle. So it's basically two plastic right angles and one rubber right angle and a cut thing, because this is a specially fitted piece right here. You could probably figure out some way to make it, but that's what I did. I cut it off of the end. Sorry, but hey, I had to get it in there. And that's what I did in order to make that work. And now they'll just put the cover back on. You can see the cover's still off. The screws are on the ground. Put the cover back on and call it good. And my wiring is just right up here. I remember I flipped the wiring backwards. Reversed it in order to make the fan go properly. And yeah, maybe that's not the right way. I am thinking that it probably needs a reverse squirrel cage. Basically, like the fan itself, the physical thing that blows the wind. I'm thinking it needs that, okay? But it blows good wind when I have it right now. When you're tucking this in, remember, maybe try to tuck it somewhere else. So I'm thinking that I probably shouldn't tuck it so over the screw holes. So when the screw hole screwed in, we tuck it in the back here. Try to get back there, like that. It's fine. Isn't gonna. I think water doesn't really get down in here too much, I assume. I can feel a crimp right here, but it'll work its way out. It's just kind of, I think this is a vent. I don't know what it is, but I want to have it in because it might help the motor blow air better. Or maybe it's some type of filtering, or who knows. Anyway, I wanted it to be factory as I could. So, alright. That's it. This is another episode for Double Dunn's Garage. There's Bro. He just got back from doing something.
Hey guys.
And it's Michael. This is Dwight. I'll catch you later.